Hey guys, welcome back to another top table wargaming video. This time what we're going to be doing is some ruins. I've got some offcut foam core card, 5mm, and I've already started this build. And what we're going to have, just to give you an idea, this is going in one corner, and I need a smaller part, so basically the other corner of the ruin to go here, just to create a nice little structure for the wargaming table for your minis to climb in and out of. This could be for anything really. It's probably going to be an Osgiliath type ruin. I'm going to show you how to make one of these, but I'm going to do it on a smaller scale, so it's a lot easier to demonstrate, and everything that you learn building this smaller one you can transfer into building a bigger one like this, and you can go even bigger. So I'll get my bits and bobs ready, and we'll make a start. I'll see you in a second. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is mark off, get a rough idea of the size of this ruin that I want. Obviously we're going to cut these corners off to get more of a rounded edge and taper that in. So we roughly are going to be here in this vicinity somewhere. So I've got that to work off. I'll now get my blue foam core and decide on the height. Okay, I got the rough dimensions, the width and the depth that I need for my ruin. What I've done is got myself an offcut of foam card, and I have cut it from corner to corner. This can create the basic structure, like so, or like so, whichever way you want to do it. So what we now need to do with this is just add a bit of detail. I'm going to put a few arches in, maybe a platform level, and just make it look a bit more like a ruin. So what I'll do is I'll just get my scalpel together, my marking out tools, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm pretty much ready to mark up for my arches and prepare to get them cut out. Just a couple of pointers, just to help you remember whilst you're doing this. The way that these parts go together is like so. So obviously you want the arches always to be the same distance from this corner, that way and that way. So what you've got to bear in mind, that unless you're doing this join at a 45-degree angle, which we're not, we're just going to butt it up because it's the easier option at this moment in time. You need to take into consideration that this distance is going to be an extra 10mm for this butt end of the other piece. So to do that, what I would recommend is that you just mark on it's +10, just to remind you, because you will find that when you're doing things like this you forget these little details, and it's only when you put it together and you look at it something looks off, and it could be because one arch is closer to the corner than on the return of the building. So that's just something to bear in mind. I also always mark the tops, and OS is just for outside, which just tells me that, you know, that's the top and this is the outside, rather than being that way around. Again, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. I just find that, you know, it's good practice to do it, and it helps you remember where you're up to. Okay, I'll come back shortly. Okay guys, just to show you what I've done so far, I'm going to do my arch openings at 40mm wide. This is so that a cavalry base can fit through the doorway. And oops, excuse me, sorry about that. And I am going to do the height 55mm, because this is, give or take, the height that most cav models will fit through. Obviously you've got the ones which have got arms in the air or whatever, but I can't just accommodate them because the arches will look silly. So that, yeah, that's the height that looks right, and the cav will fit through. So they're 40mm. I've done it 40mm from the end, so it's like uniformed. So I've measured 40mm from this corner, and then started my first arch 40mm, and I have left a 20mm pillar in between, and then a 40mm opening for the next one. Obviously the next one is neither here nor there because it's going to be cut off because of where it is on the drop of the wall. If you had a longer piece, then that would come into play. So that's that marked up. So I've got 55mm line measured from the bottom. I've measured 40mm from the corner, 40mm for the arch, and a 20mm pillar. On this side, I have only measured 30mm from there to there, because if you remember, we've already got 10mm on the butt of the return, so that would be 40mm once it's together. So I've measured 30mm from here to here, and then a 40mm opening and a 20mm pillar. Again, 55mm high. So what I'm going to do for the archways, it just comes in handy because it's 40mm. You can use a 40mm base, and you can pop the 40mm base on so that it's touching the 55mm line and the two uprights on the 40mm width, and you can just use the base to mark your arch out. Really handy. And do the same on the other one. Sorry about that. Like so. So what I'll now do off camera is I will cut those out very carefully with my scalpel, and then I'll come back to you and tell you what the next step is. Okay guys. Right, the next stage. As you can see, I've cut out the spaces where the arches would be sitting on top of the existing arches. You can come up with your own measurements if you need be, or you can follow mine. Basically what I do is from the top of my bottom arch I measure 15mm. That gives me space, because my platform that I'm going to use in there is going to be 5mm foam card. It gives me 5mm clearance above the existing arch, 5mm for the foam card, and then a 5mm bit of play between where the platform's going to be and the new arch starts. You can change that. You could have the arch starting higher, so you've got like a waist high wall maybe for cover for arches if you'd want to. I just do it this way just because that's the way I started doing it and I like the way it looks. So yeah, so basically all I did was I measured 15mm from the existing top of the arch, made sure I squared it off, and then marked it, the top arches, the same way I did with the bottom ones, and that's it. I've cut them out. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to weather the edges so it's not square. I'm going to attach the two parts together, make sure the top of the two, when I line it up, the joint doesn't look great, so whilst they're joined together I can use my knife and get one single cut through the two joins so that when it sets it looks like one piece. And then we can work on texturing the ruin. So I'll come back to you once I have my glue and pins ready. Right guys, obviously been a bit of a noob to this video making. There's a stage that I missed, which was the brickwork and texturing. I'm not going to do any texturing or indentations in the brickwork on this. I want to keep it really simple and make this a quick video. But if you look back at the 5-minute tutorials videos, episodes 1 or 2, or 1 and 2 should I say, you'll see how we get this effect on the brickwork, and they fit nicely together, so you get a nice finish on them inside and out. I'm not too worried about this part and this part just yet. As you can see, they're not finished because I'm going to be cutting into them and just sort of making it like broken rubble brick effect. So the next stage for this is basically PVA glue down this edge, get it on a nice flat surface, offer it up, and then we use these pins and we pin in. When we pin it in at the top, you pin it at an angle like that, at that angle. At the bottom, the opposite angle, and what that'll do, that'll stop it being able to move up and down. So I'm going to go away and do that, and then I'll show you how that looks when it's done. Right, so that's my two walls stuck together. What we're now going to do is we're going to measure from this point into the centre and then out to this point and cut ourselves a piece of 5mm foam card. So I'll get that done, and we will come back to this in a second. Okay guys, I've got my offcut foam card for the platform. I've got my ruin. What I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from the centre to roughly where I want it to go. I could got about 80mm to play with there and about 60mm there. So as you can see, I've marked 80mm by 60mm. It's going to be a damaged floor level, so it's going to be, you know, anything, that kind of thing. And what we will then do is take our scalpel and cut this out. Don't try and cut this in one go. Cut it, score the first sheet, score the foam, following it through, and then follow it through, finally scoring the bottom part of the foam card, the last layer. So I'll do that off camera, so for speed, and I'll come back when it's done. Okay, we now have our platform. As you can see, I've cut through the card. That is going to sit roughly there. The beauty about doing the brickwork, as another point, is it acts as a nice guide for your platform, so you can get it nice and square. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put PVA on both edges, offer it up into place, and put some pins through the foam core on the outside into the platform. That will have to set overnight. So what we'll do is we'll finish this tutorial tomorrow, and I think that's as much as we'll do for tonight. We'll let all PVA set. So I will see you tomorrow. Obviously it'll only be a couple of seconds on the video. So yeah, so I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Good morning guys, this is the conclusion of the video which I started last night. All my glue's gone off. I've put all the brick detailing as demonstrated in my other 5-minute tutorial videos. That is pretty much that. You could undercoat that now and paint it up and it'll do you. What I will be doing with this, which I'll show in other videos, tutorials, is put a little bit of scatter terrain in, a bit of debris and bricks, timber, etc. On the base, just to make it look cool. I'll also be creating pronounced archways on the arches. Again, I'll show you guys how to do all that. That's a later date in another video, but yeah, this is just to show what you can achieve with some offcuts. Don't throw anything away. I throw nothing away. I'm a bit of a hoarder. I've got a couple of boxes where I just throw all my offcuts in, and then when I'm bored I grab bits out of them and start building stuff. And this is the kind of stuff you can get. I think it's pretty cool. It costs next to nothing, you know, pence, a couple of pennies. So yeah, so I hope you like that. I'm happy with how it's turned out, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers guys, bye.